Most people are probably more familiar with Blade as part of the film trilogy with Wesley Snipes, and not with the character as part of the Marvel Universe. But I bet you didn't know that there's a lot more to Blade than 3 movies and a failed TV series, so we're going to take a look at him and the powers that he possesses. So this is the top 10 superpowers you didn't know Blade had. Number 10, he's a Dhampir. Okay, you might know this one, but still, we have to address it. So if you've never heard of this term, a Dhampir is a creature that is the result of a union between a vampire and a human. Traditionally male vampires and female humans, although the reverse did occasionally happen. Seemingly, Dhampirs were unaffected by their vampire origins and were normal citizens for all intents and purposes. However, according to folklore, they were able to see invisible vampires and practice sorcery and would often be vampire hunters. In the case of Blade, his mother was attacked by her doctor, Deacon Frost, who was actually a vampire and feasted on her while she gave birth. This passed on a series of enzymes that altered Blade, transforming him, which actually leads us to our next power. Number 9, immunity to vampire bites and other vulnerabilities. So because of the enzymes that altered Blade, he now has immunity to vampire bites. This more or less makes him the ideal candidate for being a vampire hunter, considering the biggest risk is turning into a vampire yourself. Blade has a natural affinity for disabling one of a vampire's greatest assets. Blade is also immune to the effects of religious icons like crucifixes, which tend to leave most vampires powerless. Speaking of Blade's resistances, number 8, superhuman durability. Because of Blade's Dhampir tissue, he's able to survive severe physical trauma up to a certain point. He's been shown to survive energy blasts, extreme temperatures, and impacts without injury. This partially relates to his healing factor, which is actually another power he's got. Number 7, slowed aging. So, like vampires, Blade also has a much longer lifespan due to his slowed aging. During the time he's lived on Earth, no change in his appearance has ever been noted. Which is good, because I too fear the curse of a receding hairline. Lucky Blade. Wish my mom got eaten by a vampire. Number 6, healing factor. So Blade, like actual vampires, has an accelerated healing factor that surpasses that of an ordinary human. He's able to heal from slashes, punctures, and impacts in a short period of time. Although, if he were to lose a limb or any organs, they would not be recovered, so he's at least gotta keep the arms on. Number 5, superpowers coming from Morbius. So, despite not really having powers like super strength, Blade eventually received these powers after being bitten by Morbius, the living vampire. Because Morbius was not a natural vampire but a scientifically created vampire, he reacted strangely to it. He gained many vampire strengths and lost multiple vampire weaknesses, including the weakness to sunlight. Speaking of vampire weaknesses, number 4, resistance to silver. As most know, in vampire lore, they are highly allergic to silver. So silver blades and bullets are capable of killing vampires. Blade, on the other hand, can be injured by silver similarly to a human, and it will just heal as normal. It's starting to seem as though you could just go to the vampire power list and just scratch off the weaknesses section and you'd have Blade. Number 3, acute senses. Blade's senses are greatly enhanced from that of normal humans, comparable to the senses that vampires have. He's able to see great distances and is able to see with perfect clarity in near total darkness. Likewise, his hearing is enhanced and he's able to hear sounds humans are unable to hear and at greater distances. He's also able to sense supernatural beings that a human would be unable to. So this guy has strength, speed, the ability to detect the supernatural, and all the resistances of vampires. This is getting a bit OP. Number 2, he can turn into a bat. Yeah, this one doesn't come up much, but in Uncanny Avengers Annual number 1, when battling Rogue, Blade turns into a giant bat. Not a power that comes up often for Blade, especially not enough for most biographies to even list it. But evidently, he can do it. So evidently the vampire powers run deeper than we thought. Not much to say about this since he's done it, as far as I can see, only once, but please, if you can name more, please tell me. Number 1, his saliva can turn humans into vampires. In the 2006 TV series adaptation of Blade, it was shown that Blade's saliva can turn a human into a vampire, as it still possesses the enzyme that changes them. The series was short-lived, and despite it being the most watched original premiere in Spike TV history, the series was cancelled after one season of only 12 episodes. So, sadly, we'll never know what repercussions that could potentially have. I guess no sloppy kisses from Blade? Alas. And that is all for Blade. Gotta say, I'm more impressed seeing all his powers on paper. He's got quite a list of resistances and a pretty short list of weaknesses. So, what do you think of Blade? Think he deserves more love? Let me know. Until then, have a good one.